But why is he giving everything to the next woman? It doesn't make sense. I wanted this and he's not giving this to me, but he's giving it to her. Why was I not good enough? Those are oftentimes the thoughts and the questions that come through people's mind when they see the toxic guy in their life go to the next woman, go to the new supply, going to the next person to be able to do whatever he wants and to connect with her however he wants. And all of a sudden you're left feeling abandoned, feeling lost, feeling confused, and ultimately feeling like you're worthless and not good enough. Because if you were good enough, then he would have done something different. Have you had this before? This thought that comes into your mind? If you were good enough, then he would change. If you mattered enough, then he would change. If there was enough value inside of you, then he would see that, he would acknowledge that, and he would actually do something different. The hard part about this thought process is you're relying way too much on you and your own influence on another person, instead of understanding that his choices are his choices. It's not dependent on you. It's weird because you have a toxic relationship and the guy's very narcissistic and it's all about him. And then we get into this mode and you think, well, if I would have done something different, then he would have changed. And you actually start to make it about you. Now, bear with me and don't run away because I'm not attacking you. Okay. I'm just trying to be able to expose a little bit here of saying, if you look at this, a lot of times the focus comes back in a weird way onto you. Man, if I was good enough, he would have stayed. If I would have given more sex, then he wouldn't have cheated. If I would have, and you think that you had something to do with it. The harsh reality is you didn't. All that you had to do with it was simply being someone in his life that he used and abused. But it wasn't that you made him do this. It wasn't that you prompted him to go out and cheat or prompted him to go lie or prompted him to do whatever. He made his own decisions. But oftentimes when you're in the relationship, you're like, I don't want to believe that it was his decision. I want to believe that it was my fault. Well, sometimes that's because he's already projected and told you that is your fault. And he said this over and over and over again, making you feel like you're the one completely at fault. And a lot of times he'll continue that thought process after the relationship as he goes to the next woman. So what's going on here? When the toxic guy goes to the next person, the next partner, oftentimes it's thrown in your face. It might be thrown in your face through your kids, or he's channeling and communicating through them to get back to you so that you feel inadequate and inept and you feel worthless because he's actually found the love of his life. It's the most amazing thing ever, right? And that makes you feel awful. Makes you feel like shit because you're like, well, what was wrong with me? He'll do this through the kids. He'll do this through social media. He'll do this through different friends, networks, events, companies. He'll do this in all different ways to try to be able to showcase that he's found the best person and it wasn't you. All this is another way to be able to belittle and put you down. And at the same time, lock the next person in. Do you see this? Now, if he tells everybody this is the best person ever, if he shows this person off, if this is a person, the love of his life, he's creating a fantasy with this person. And oftentimes she will get to the place where she'll even tell other people, yeah, this is the best person. And then when he starts changing, she doesn't know how to be able to say anything different. So she stays. Maybe just like you stayed. Maybe just like the person before you stayed. Because we'll see this happen many times where narcissists will cycle through person after person after person. And the hard part is you'll start to believe that he's defining your worth and value. He's not. No one can actually define your worth and value. No human being on this planet can put a value piece on you. Now, we get into this inside of insurance and health insurance and all this stuff. They give you a value based on your life expectancy, based on your physical health, right? But ultimately, your intrinsic worth and value, like no man can actually put a price tag on that. But he does. Because if he can make you feel less than, he'll feel more than you. He'll feel better about himself because, well, you're still struggling in the corner. And so he's going to do this in going to the next relationship, trying to showcase that it's perfect. So he locks her into thinking that it's perfect, and he also belittles you at the same time, making you feel like you're not perfect, which is why he's not with you, making you try to feel worthless. So many people look at it and think, well, why is he doing this stuff for her and not for me? One, we have to take your value out of the equation because otherwise you will put your worth and your value based on this other person. Being like, if I would have had value, then he would have done that with me. He's not doing that with me, therefore I don't have any value. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, that's you imagining and putting things into the scenario that actually aren't there. But what is happening is when he's with a new person, it's a show. It's a production. It's an event. It's something that's different than what he currently had, because he has to show other people, and he has to show you, and he has to show himself, and he has to show her that this is the most amazing thing ever. Until it's not, because he hasn't changed, and he reverts back, and then it continues the cycle over and over and over. Now, when you're inside of this piece looking from the inside out, the perspective gets really confused. When we're talking through this piece of looking at reframing and looking at the story you're telling yourself, we have to get very crystal clear of what's actually real. Because if you don't, you'll start to believe a reality that's not real, that's fake, that's false. So when you're trying to get free from this mentally and emotionally, it can be really taxing. It can be really hard because you're looking at the other person and you're comparing. You're looking at the other person and you're judging yourself. You're looking at the person and it's beating yourself up. Sometimes when people do this, they bring in the doubt, the worry, the fear, the obligation, the guilt, but the worthiness and not being good enough are one of the biggest ones that happen. Now, consider for a moment, let's say you absolutely love going to the beach. It's one of your favorite times. You love having vacations there. You love just walking on the beach, the sand in between your toes, sunlight on your face. Like, you love the beach. But inside the relationship that you've been in, he said he hated the beach. And it wasn't something that he hardly ever did. And in fact, the 2 times that you went to the beach, he complained the majority of the time and made it awful and kind of made you feel like, I don't really want to go back to the beach with him ever again. But then you see him with the new supply and he's out going to the beach. This triggers the worthlessness piece. And you're like, now he loves going to the beach. Why? Why didn't he love going to the beach with me? What was wrong with me? And you think it's you. Okay, so pause for a second. It has nothing to do with you. 1, narcissists will shift and adjust what they like and what they do based on the person they're with. Meaning, when he's with her and she likes going to the beach or she likes doing something different, he might need to leverage one of those pieces to get closer, to be able to connect and have that bond. Oh, I like doing that too. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're on the same page. We're like soulmates. He's trying to build a connection. Now, the other piece that you might not realize is he could be doing it the same exact way he was doing it with you, but you're only viewing it from one perspective. Let's say the next woman actually hates the beach, despises it. Like, the thought of being in the sand, like, she absolutely hates it. She would rather be in a peaceful, cozy cabin in the woods. But from your perspective, you're like, beach, that's what I want. Why don't I get that with him? And then from her perspective, she's like, I just want to go to a cabin. Why do I have to be at the beach? I hate the beach. Do you see what's going on here? A lot of times a narcissist will pivot different things to be able to control people different ways. The problem is when you think that he's constant or the same as you or the same as what he was in the relationship. Yeah, that's not true. So we need to make sure we understand that very clearly. He morphs, he shifts, he adjusts, he constructs and builds a new mask for the next person. That new mask is going to have different desires, different likes, different ideologies, different pieces. It might have some of the same modalities. It might have some of the same words that he's saying. It might have the same love bombing phrases or things that he communicates. It might have the same style of stuff, but a lot of times the ideas, the thoughts, the preferences might shift to be able to control the next person. It's all about a game of control. It's about a game of perception, a game of control. It's managing what other people see. It's managing other people's vision and version of who he actually is to the world. So he has to manage that. He has to make sure that she stays stuck with him, that he builds that other relationship so she's trapped, and also manages all the other expectations with everybody else. Oh, look at me. I look good. There's that last relationship that was abusive, but now I found the love of my life. This is actually going to work. He's selling a version of himself to the world. But the problem is he's also lying to himself because he hasn't done anything to change and adjust himself. He walks into the next relationship and you're like, oh my gosh, he's healed. What did she do that I couldn't? Why wasn't I good enough to heal him? Why isn't this working? All of these questions are going to hit you and then a lot more. You need to understand he's not going to walk into another relationship and have an epiphany moment that magically makes him better. And anybody that tells you that that's possible is full of shit. Like the journey that I've been on, we're approaching 5 years of therapy. I'm approaching over 2,300 stacks of mental rewiring and reframing in my mindset. I'm going on 2.5 years of meditation. Like there has been a lot of stuff that has been done to bring me to this place. So a person that shows up mentally and emotionally abusive, a person that shows up narcissistically, a person that shows up as gaslighting you and lying consistently, all of these things do not disappear overnight. And if you believe that they do, you're naive. because you're buying into his lie that he's selling the next person. You're buying into his lie that he's convincing you to make you feel not good enough. It's like the last, like, kind of stick it to you. And in order for you to actually break free from this, you need to be able to mentally reframe and rewire what you're believing, because otherwise you'll believe a fantasy, you'll believe a fiction, and it'll continue to run a story in your mind and a lie that you believe that doesn't actually give you liberation or healing, but instead just leaves you trapped, just leaves you stuck long term. I want to help you actually break free mentally and emotionally. Reach out for help. Go to rawmotivations.com. Because I want to provide you the tools to help you liberate your mindset, your thought process, actually help you be free and find that person of you that lives in freedom, that lives in peace, that's healed, that's healthy, that's whole, that actually feels seen, safe, and secure. I want you to actually capitalize on this and find you. But you can't do that if you're focused so much on him and why you're not good enough for the toxic guy that didn't give a shit anyways. If I can help you with this, please go to rawmotivations.com today. We'd love to talk to you and help you move forward. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Hey, just want to jump in here really quick and say you might have been watching my content for a period of time, but you haven't taken the next step. You haven't taken the next moment, the next idea, the next thought to actually change your life. And I want to provide you with a couple different options. One of the ways is to be able to work with me personally inside the Thriver Intensive. What I do inside of there is help you break the trauma bond, eradicate the triggers, and move forward in the healing process. You got 24/7 access to me. You've got access to other women who are going through it, access to other coaches, but a support system that you need to finally break free once and for all, and to make sure that you don't go back, that you don't interact with them again, and that you finally find peace. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about this, then click on the link down below, but it'll be rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. You'll be able to hear a little bit from me. You'll be able to hear a little bit from my wife, and be able to hear a little bit more about what I do to help you move forward. If that resonates with you, click on the link below, rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Have you ever wondered how a narcissist is actually made? It's easy to look at the behavior, the manipulation, there's lies, there's gaslighting. We can look at the traits and think that it just poof came out of nowhere. Like one day he just woke up and he decided, I'm gonna destroy lives today and rip people apart and suck the soul out of every woman that he actually touched. But the truth is it started a long time before you actually met him. And we're gonna talk through some of that today.